Ohio home buyers beware. Don't fall into the 2026 housing trap. The trap is believing that slower means easier. It doesn't. While the headlines say that the market is cooling, the house that you actually want in the area that you want is likely still a fight to get. If you treat it like it's 2021, you'll overpay. 3. Real life hacks to find hidden value and the exact playbook to survive 2026 and not get burned. I'm Jason Ferrier, the Ohio housing nerd. I pull the data. I walk the neighborhoods. Then I tell you what the numbers actually mean. I'm not here to cheerlead or sell you a dream. I'm here to be your watchdog. There are 2 markets in Ohio right now. The one where you have power as a buyer and the one where you get crushed as a buyer. Let's make sure you're in the right one. Here's the plan. Number 1, the data reality check. What's actually happening with days on market, inventory, and prices. Number 2, where you have leverage, including 3 specific ways to hack the system. Number 3, the mistakes. 4 ways buyers are blowing up their budgets right now. And number 4, the 2026 playbook, your step-by-step guide to buying safer. Now let's look at days on market. Statewide, it's barely up. In other words, it's taking only 1 day longer to sell a home now in Ohio versus last year. But that average is lying to you. If we take a look at the county level instead of the state, you can see that some counties have actually slowed a lot when it comes to how fast homes are selling. For example, in Delaware County, homes are taking 10 days longer to sell now versus the end of 2024. And in Shelby County, homes are sitting on the market 29 days longer, and that could be real leverage for you as a buyer. But in the hot pockets, like Union County, homes are actually selling faster than they were a year ago. So don't mistake the state average for your street or your neighborhood. In some areas, you need to act fast, and in others, you can take your time. Now let's talk about inventory, or the homes that are active on the market. Overall, the number of homes for sale in Ohio is up 12% year over year, which is not a flood. It's just a puddle. But some counties have much more inventory this year than they did at the end of 2024. For example, in Delaware County, there are 34% more homes on the market right now versus the end of 2024. And in Fayette County, there are 76% more homes available for sale right now versus the end of last year. And in Lucas County, there are 50% more homes available for sale. But here's the catch. The good inventory, move-in ready, in desirable areas is still rare. An increase in inventory doesn't help you if what's available is overpriced junk or located in an area you don't want to live in. Now let's talk about prices. In most Ohio counties, prices are up year over year and up over the last several years, but there are pockets of relief happening in certain zip codes. Now a warning on forecast. For example, Zillow says that home prices in Mount Vernon will increase nearly 4% in the next 12 months, and in Cleveland, about 3%. But something you should know is that these models from Zillow and other national providers, these forecasts change monthly. My read, we're in for a slow grind. Overall, prices barely up. Some pockets could actually drift down, but no crash. Your edge comes from execution, not waiting for the bottom to fall out. Let me prove the split. Look at zip code 45177 near Cincinnati, where home prices right now are up 4% in the last year. And 43050 Mount Vernon, where prices are up 6% in the last year. So those markets are still hot. But then you have a zip code like 44103 in Cuyahoga County, where prices are now down. That's right, down 13% year over year. And 45872 in Northeast Ohio, where prices are down 12% year over year. So your strategy needs to change by zip code. You can't use a soft market strategy in a zip code that's still hot. You'll lose every time. Now let's look at price cuts. Statewide, nearly 22% of all sellers have cut their asking price on their listing. And you can see that's elevated. We haven't seen price cuts like this statewide in a long time. 22% sounds high, but the variance is huge. A price cut usually signals a seller who got greedy, not a market that's crashing. But you can use that greed to your advantage. The fact is that leverage lives in the ugly and the stale. It does not live in the turnkey homes in the top markets. If you want a deal, you need to solve a problem for the seller. That means dated kitchens, weird layouts, or homes that have sat on the market a long time. That's where you get price concessions. I don't want to give you just theory. I want to give you the tactics. Here are 3 hacks to buy a property right now. Hack number 1 is the house hack. Stop looking at just single family homes. Look at 2-unit, 3-unit, and 4-unit buildings. This way you could live in 1 unit and rent out the others, and your tenant will pay some or all of your mortgage. And in some cases, even allow you to cash flow. In an environment like we're in today, this is one of the best ways to hack the system. It's not glamorous, but it's effective. And as a real estate investor over the last 10 years, this is one of the biggest mistakes I made. I didn't know about house hacking a duplex when I started investing, and I wish I had known. But now, you know. Hack number 2, the renovation loan. Don't fear the repair. Stop scrolling past homes that look beat up. There are lending programs like FHA 203K loans or Fannie Mae Homestyle that let you wrap the renovation cost into the purchase of the house. You buy the home, you borrow the money for, let's say, a new kitchen, a new bathroom, and it's all wrapped into one loan. You get the house cheaper because it's ugly and you make it what you want. Hack number 3, don't be afraid to make a low, sometimes disrespectful offer, but you got to do it correctly. If a home has been on the market a long time, you may have an opportunity. That seller could be tired. But here is the caveat. If it was just listed yesterday, don't bother. Making a lowball offer on day 2 is probably a waste of time and will just annoy the agent and the seller. Timing is everything. But at the end of the day, you have to make an offer that makes sense to you as the buyer, not what the seller wants. If you aren't using a hack, use terms. Maybe ask the seller to buy down your interest rate. Ask for a flexible possession time. Don't be afraid to do an inspection and ask for repairs. Sometimes offering to get rid of all of the junk left over from the current owner is a big bonus for the seller. Make the contract easy on the seller to sign, even if the price is low. If you're in Central Ohio and want to run these numbers for real and discuss your strategy, don't hesitate to reach out to me. My contact information is in the description below. And if you're elsewhere in Ohio, I can connect you with a great agent that can help. Now let's talk about some buyer mistakes I see a lot of people make. Mistake number 1, shopping like it's 2011. Stop waiting for a foreclosure wave. It isn't 2011. Distressed inventory is starting to build, but by no means is it exploded. If you sit on the sidelines waiting for a crash, you're just going to rent another year while prices probably grind higher. Mistake number 2, believing the state averages. I said it before, simple averages will kill deals. If you use statewide or headline data to make an offer on a street that's hot, you will lose. Know the micro data for your specific school district, neighborhood, or even subdivision. Mistake number 3, only looking at the mortgage payment. Affordability is all in. Not just the principal and interest. It's principal, interest, taxes, insurance, and any HOA fees, possible repairs you'll have to make, and ongoing maintenance. If you don't calculate those things in, you aren't buying a home. You're buying a burden. Mistake number 4, maxing out the lender's approval. Just because the bank says you can borrow $400,000 doesn't mean you should. A lot of experts recommend your debt to income ratio should stay anywhere from 43 to 36%, meaning your total debt is about 36% of your total income. But that's just an overall recommendation. In reality, you may want to keep your debt to income ratio much lower, like under 30%, because you need to leave room to breathe. Okay, here's your 2026 playbook for buying a house in Ohio. Step 1, get pre-approved. Get the pre-approval letter from a lender so you're legitimate. Then secretly set your max price below what the lender says you can afford. Your budget is determined by your life, not the lender's risk model. Step number 2, define affordable. Before you write the offer, get the actual tax bill and call an insurance company for a quote, because taxes and insurance can eat you alive if you're not careful. Step number 3, build a reserve fund. Do not close on a house with zero in the bank. You need a fund for the furnace dies in January, or the roof's leaking, or a tree just fell in the front yard and I gotta pay somebody to remove it. You want at least 6 months of reserves in the bank beyond your down payment. And remember, moving's not free, and you're probably gonna want new thingamabobs for your new home. And be careful how much you're committing to with a new mortgage payment. Ideally, keeping your debt to income ratio overall to under 28% is ideal, even though a lot of financial experts say 36, even 45% is okay. My advice is give yourself breathing room rather than maxing out. Step number 4 is building your buy box. Get crystal clear on what type of home you want, or rather, what type of home do you need? You may want a 3,000 square foot home with 3.5 baths, 5 bedrooms, a man cave, and a 4-car garage. But in reality, you may not need that. So be careful about looking at the wrong types of homes. Think about the type of home you need now and in the future. Set your criteria and stick to it. That gives you permission to ignore all the other listings out there. Step number 5, know your market. It's vital to understand the target area that you want to purchase in. You should know how fast homes are moving, how many homes are on the market, and how that compares to historical averages. In other words, you want to become a housing nerd for the market you want to buy in. If you study your target market for 60 to 90 days, you will understand the trends. Just take 5 or 10 minutes a day, look at the listings that are in that area, look at the closed sales, and look at how fast the houses are moving. And it doesn't hurt to look at the average price per square foot or the average sale price of the homes in your buy box. That way, as listings pop up, you kind of know what's a good deal and what's not without even running any math. The bottom line is that the forecast for the Ohio housing market is really a slow grind, in my opinion. No crash, no explosion. In a market like this, headlines don't matter. Your ability to spot the stale listing matters. Your discipline to stick to your budget matters. If you want to discuss an actual plan, map to your specific neighborhoods and your goals, email me or call me. My info is below. I'm Jason Ferrier, the Ohio housing nerd. I am a realtor, and I don't want you to fall into the home buying trap of 2026. Be smart, be disciplined, and I'll see you on the next video.